Hello teacher, today I will be showing touristic attraction of Kyrgyzstan. Let's get started. The Celestial Mountains, an immersive journey through the landmarks, landscapes and legends of Kyrgyzstan. Welcome to the heart of Central Asia. This journey transports you to the very soul of Kyrgyzstan, focusing entirely on the physical, historical and natural landmarks that define this remarkable nation. Over 90% of this country is mountainous, preserving untouched glacial lakes, ancient walnut forests, and monuments left by Silk Road merchants. Step into a living nomadic canvas. The topography of extremes, the four realms. Let's start with east. The Great Inland Sea, the Ishkul Basin, a warm microclimate harboring ancient petroglyphs and wooden architecture. On to the north, the urban glacial, Bishkek's capital culture and the towering peaks of Ala Arka National Park. Onto the south, the ancient south, the deeply historical agricultural heartland anchored by ash and the massive Arslanbab walnut forests. And the center, nomadic highlands, the domain of endless grassy steppes and high altitude lakes like Songkul, accessible via winding mountain passes. Now we go to Bishkek, the urban tapestry. They got Alatu Square, the beating heart of the nation, guarded by the epic hero Manas and defined by precise military guard changes, a blend of history and modern life. And we will move on to the Grand Bazaars, a sensory labyrinth of spices, fresh tender bread, and the largest open-air trading hub in Central Asia. Onto the Panfilo Park, a leafy sanctuary honoring 28 World War II guardsmen, blending serene nature with historical gravitas beneath central trees. Onto the museums, brutalist architecture housing the transition from ancient nomadic tribes to Soviet military history. Now I'll be talking about Sentinels of the Silk Road. There's Borona Tower from 11th century, located in the Chui Valley, originally a 45-meter minaret of the Karakhanid capital, Balasagun, now reduced to 24 meters by earthquakes, surrounded by Balbals, aka ancient stone warriors. Now to Tash Rabat, hidden in the Nerian region at 3.2 thousand meters elevation, a formidable 31-room stone caravanserai built in a high gorge to protect merchants and camel caravans from blizzards and bandits. Sorry, I want to say Gorg, not George. A Tale of Two Lakes, the crown jewels. Isikul. Its elevation and climate. 1.6 1000 meters. Warm microclimate, slightly saline, never freezes. On the other hand, Songkul, 3000 meters, harsh alpine climate, accessible only in summer. They experience 4 equal beaches, thermal springs, water sports, and historical resorts are available. And for Songkul, pure nomadic isolation, yurt camps, profound silence, and horseback riding. To key access, for Isikul, year-round accessibility via paved highways. And for Songkul, reached via the dramatic 33 Parrots Pass, completely off-grid. Now we move on to the shores of antiquity. Isikul's perimeter, Cholopon Ata petroglyphs, an open-air museum of thousands of glacial stones chronicling Bronze Age hunts, snow leopards, and deer. Ruh Ordo, a modern sanctuary built directly on the water, uniting 5 world religions to symbolize universal peace. Skaska Canyon, vine sculptured red sandstone resembling fairy tale castles and dragons, contrasting with the dramatic Seven Bowls rock formations. Wood and spirits, the architecture of Karakol. The Dongan Mosque, built by Chinese Muslims fleeing persecution, a masterpiece of engineering combining Chinese pagoda aesthetics with Islamic function, built entirely without a single metal nail. Onto the Holy Trinity Church, exquisite Russian Orthodox woodcraft featuring green roofs and golden domes. Endured Soviets repurposing to remain a vibrant spiritual center today. Now we're gonna ascend a bit to the vertical wilderness. I'm gonna start from the bottom. Ala Arka National Park, a juniper-scented gorge, just 40 minutes from Bishkek, sorry. Trails lead up to the Aksai waterfall and Ratsek Hut, Barskun waterfalls, known as the Tears of the Snow Leopard, featuring giant glacial cascades favored by cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. Alakol Lake, a grueling, highly rewarding trek to an impulsively turquoise glacial basin hidden high in the Tian Shan. Sari Mogul, the deep south base camp acting as the gateway to the unforgiving. Snow-blind peaks of the Pamir Mountains. Now we move on to the sacred south, Osh and Arslanbab. The Suleiman II, Solomon's Mountain, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a sacred pilgrimage destination for over 3 millennia, featuring ancient caves and petroglyphs rising abruptly from the city of Osh. The Babur Mosque, a small historic mosque perched on the peak, built by the founder of the Mughal Empire. On the Arslanbab walnut forests, the world's largest natural walnut forest, approximately 60,000 hectares, tied to the legends of Alexander the Great and the home to the mysterious Cave of the 41 Angels. Beyond the beaten path, the hidden enigmas. Sayilo Mutash, embroidered stones, reached via a punishing trek at 3,000 meters, hiding over 10,000 petroglyphs carved by shamans dating back to 2000 before Christ. Saricha Lake, a pristine UNESCO biosphere reserve created by a prehistoric earthquake, offering profound silence among wildfruit and nut forests. Kelsu, a dramatic emerald lake trapped between sheer vertical cliffs near the Chinese border that occasionally vanishes entirely into subterranean caves. Batyan and the Eagle Flower, the deep southwest, home to the incredibly rare endemic Aigul flower that blooms for only a brief window in April. The living canvas of Central Asia. Nature. Unforgiving altitudes, vast green pastures, and pristine biospheres that demand respect. History. Echoes of empires from the Karakhanids of the Silk Road to the monumentalism of Soviet era. Culture. A continuous unbroken thread of nomadic heritage surviving in the yurts, high pastures, and welcoming spirit of the Kyrgyz people. And that was it. Thank you for listening.